apply here, no, in our next set of discussion. As I've told the class earlier, no, or I told you, no, we will only, be able to get or use, no, 2 voltmeters only, no? So we will have only 2 voltmeters. And if you have 2 voltmeters, then we have to devise a way, how to find the needed values, because we could not connect, as many voltmeters as we would want. Okay, so again, a maximum of 2 voltmeters only. Now, there are other things that we need, no? If we go into a series connected circuit, one thing that we will probably need. So again, we can click and drag the voltmeter, out. So again, a while ago when we drag it, there's none left, in the box there. So it means that we can only use a maximum of 2. Okay, so we'll try moving this. Let's put them aside first. Okay, let me disconnect this. So let's say we'll try to disconnect. Okay, disconnecting this. We will try to add, as many resistor now. So when you want to put, an ammeter reading, ammeter device to each resistances, then we always connect the ammeter, in series to our battery, or to our resistor. So for example, we will call this as our ammeter 1, the first. That's the first ammeter that will read the current that flows through resistance 1. Now I'll drag another resistor here. So that's the first resistor that I have. I'm going to connect next, another another ammeter. So I have now 2 ammeters together. I'm going to move this aside first. So we'll try to use 3. We'll try to use 3 resistors. So I have now 2, and I'll need I think I'll need another ammeter. So let me set aside this wire. So this is my wiring. I have no use for them for a while. Now I will place here another. I'm going to place here another ammeter. I have I have now ammeter, which I will connect to my resistor. So I have a ammeter 1, ammeter 2, ammeter 3, and my third resistor for ammeter 3. Now somewhere here I will use this to connect. I will connect here this is now my total current. So this one current of the circuit. We will just keep it open first. So you have now the ability to change the value of the resistor. So you can have other values here. No? So you can make one value here 10. You can make the next value maybe 20. Probably this one you can make this 33, or something like 30, 31. I have three different values of resistances, and then my battery. I can still stick with a 24-volt battery. Now, what are the things that we will be measuring in our circuit? Again, first we will find the currents. We are going to find the currents that passes our resistor. And at the same time, we are going to measure the voltages as well, in each of these resistances. So for my first resistor, this is my V1. This is my first voltage V1. For my next resistor, I will put in parallel the second voltmeter. So this is my V2. And if I'm going to close the circuit now, I'll be able to measure both the current in resistance 1, the current in resistance 2, and their corresponding voltages V1 and V sub 2. So you will have a way of recording that in your table. Now for your third resistor, so this is now your V3. So I just transferred it. So you have your V3 again. We have V1, V2 a while ago, and then this is now your V sub 3. Now what about the total voltage of the circuit? Now the total voltage of the circuit, you can probably take it by getting the voltage across here for the three. That covers the three resistors. So therefore, the voltage now is 24, which is if you observe it, similar to the voltage of the battery. Okay, so this is your V total, and again, these are your I1, I2, I3, and this is your I total. Now your three resistances again are what? So you have 10, 20, and 30. Now depending on what circuit you have, you can also get the total resistance for the circuit. So again, this is how we connect series connected devices. Now for our parallel connected, of course, then we can probably change the circuit here. Let's remove first the voltmeters. So if we will go for parallel connection, then most likely we'll have to bring this downward. Most likely and we will be disconnecting this and maybe attaching it in this way. So that will be the first parallel connection that we will be having. Now next, we can also disconnect this and eventually have this connected in this way. Another parallel connection. And then this third device, which we can also connect in parallel as well. However, I think we'll need more wires here to be able to connect these devices in parallel. So the first one probably we'll connect this end. We'll connect this end. And then we'll connect also the one at the top there. So we now have the series of parallel connections there. So this is still your total current below. So maybe we can connect a wire here. So that's the first wire that we connect. Next one, and then maybe an additional wiring. Okay, so we have now 3 parallel connected devices. We can turn it off now. We can turn off our circuit. And then maybe, to get the voltage, we can put this one. So this is our parallel connection. So we can measure V1 and V sub 2. So these are your currents I1 and I2. No? So of course, there are corresponding uh, resistance values as well. No? So V1, V2, how much is it? So we can close this. And then we can now record the value of the voltmeter readings. No? Now for your V3, maybe you can transfer this. And again, you can close the circuit again and check the voltage V3. So we can get V1, V2, V3, and then the total voltage of the circuit. You can also measure that by putting it on our battery. Now, how about the current? Again, the currents are the ones that passes through each of these resistances. So these I1, I2, I3. The last current value below is known as your I total. So again, there's always a provision for the I total value there. So again, these are your devices when you connect them in